So we're back with our next tutorial to help acquaint you with using Illustrator. And we're going to start by making a document that has little houses on it. So let's go to File and New. And up at the top here, we will call this Houses. And the profile will be Print. It'll be letter size, and the units will be inches, and it's CMYK, and we'll say OK. So here we have our document, and we're going to start by making a grid. And we do that by going to Edit and Preferences and Guides in Grids. Now, here under Grids, we're going to say that we want a specific color. You can change the color by clicking here and choose any color you like. I'm going to leave mine gray, like the default. You can choose whether to have lines or dots. I'm going to leave mine be lines. And I'm going to have a grid line every 1 inch. And I'm only going to have one subdivision. So no subdivisions within the inch. I want my grid to be in back of my work, and I want to show the pixel grid. So let's click on OK. There we are. All right, let's show our grid now. We go up to View and Show Grid. And there we have our grid. This is going to help us to draw. To begin with, let's take off the fill from our fill color. There we go. And we have just our stroke color. Let's go to our pencil tool to begin with. And let's use the grid to draw a house. I'm going to start here, and we'll just hold this down and come like this. Oops. It is a little hard to hold. You can hold your wrist if it's not steady. And there's our house. Not too good. Let's try it with the pen tool. Let's do straight lines. Click there on that section. I'm going to move up here and put an anchor point here, and here, and here, and here. And I will close. Now, you see I'm a little bit off here. How you can correct that is by holding down your Shift key. Your Shift key will keep your lines at either a 90 or a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to click here, hold down my Shift key, click, and you see how very nice these are. No little off. I'm going to come in here so you can see how off that is. You see? Where these are very nice and straight. Okay, Control 0 will get my full screen up again. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is make a rectangle. So I'll come to my rectangle tool up here and use this grid to make a rectangle like that. And I will go over to my pen tool and see underneath the pen tool it says Add Anchor Point. I'm going to add an anchor point right in the middle of that line. Now, remember, it's the point of the pen is where you add it. Then, now if you look, I'm going to zoom in close here, like this. If you look here, all these anchor points are white. That means they are not selected. But this anchor point is blue. That means it is selected. So I'll go to my direct selection tool. What the direct selection tool does is it selects one part of an object. And in this case, it's going to be this one anchor point. And I'm going to just select that anchor point. And, oops, my pen is in my way here on my desk. There we go. Okay, and I will bring that up. And I have another house. Now I'll do a Control-0, Command-0 on the Mac. And you see that is a very nice house. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go and make a polygon. It has 6 sides. Now I've remembered from the last time that I had a triangle. So I will go to my up arrow key and just add and go like this. Make it kind of big and size it this way. There we go. Now I'll come back to my pen tool here and see where it says delete anchor point. I'll just click on that anchor point down here and look, I have another house. Okay, now the next house I make is going to be a little more tricky. So I'll go to the pen tool here and I'm going to make half a house. So I'll click here and I'll hold down my Shift key while I do this. Click here and here and here. Now I have half a house. And if you look very closely, the only anchor point that is selected is this bottom one. That's because it's the last one I did. And for what I'm going to do, I need all of these anchor points selected. So I'll come up here to the selection tool and I will click on the side because only that one anchor point is selected right now. And I will marquee over this, and now all of my anchor points are selected. Now I'm going to go to the Reflect tool, which is under the Rotate tool here. Here we go. And I'm going to zoom in close so you can see this a little better. Here's my Reflect tool. And do you see this little blue part? That is the rotation point. And anything that I do, it will rotate on this point, and I don't want that. So I'm going to click right on it and drag it up to the top because that's where I want it to rotate from. Now here's the tricky part. I'm going to drag this over to the side, but I'm not going to let go of my mouse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my Alt key or Option key, and you see I have a double arrow there, a white one and a black one. That means I'm going to make a copy of it. And I will release my mouse and then my Option key or Alt key. And there I have another house. Now I'm going to do that again for you because it is tricky. So I will Control Z. Remember we have 20 undos, 1, and I'm going to do it again. And I'll do a Control Z 2. Oops. Well, I didn't want to take that leg off, so I'll redo pen here. Okay, there we go. Now, I will select this whole thing by marking over it and go to the Reflect tool. And I'm going to move the rotation point right there. Okay. And I'll come here to any one of these points. It can be this point or that point. And I'm just going to drag it to the side, get it where I want it to be. And before I release my mouse, I'm going to hold down my Alt key or my Option key and let go of my mouse. Don't let go of the Alt key before the mouse. And there I have my other house. Okay, so we've done a few different types of houses, and I'm going to do a Control-0 to get them up. And I'll move this house here over onto the paper. Oops. And you just marquee it and select it and move it over. Put your name on the paper, and of course, if you can think of some other way to make houses, I sure would love to see it. So put your name on here with the Type tool. And remember, this is practice, so don't worry if it's not really very neat. And save it as houses with your name on it, your name and houses, and put it in the D2L. So thanks, and take a look at what the homework is on the homework sheet, and we'll be together again next week. Goodbye now. I'm looking forward to seeing your work. Goodbye.